Oh, wait, you're good, right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just
If you're good.
starting my stream
Mm-hmm.
up is all.
All right. So yeah, I've got my. I'm gonna minimize Audacity real quick, and here we go. So we're starting with issue 41. We're gonna be
Alright.
doing 41 through 50 for sure, and then there's a free comic book day in here, and there's also a four issue mini series going on, and then we'll see how much time we've got. Tiv, like, how long can you be on this call?
Maybe hour and a half.
All right,
Okay,
that's
then
not too bad.
we probably won't make it to April, Casey. But that's okay. We can honestly maybe do this like a little mini because I don't even really want to cover it that much. It's just kind of there's like one important thing that happens in Casey in April, and that's it.
Well, we can
Uh-huh.
just like cover that important thing and just leave the rest as
I
is.
guess, yeah. All right. So anyway, so we open up and we're back on Burnell Island, and the Technodrome is ready.
Okay.
Or well, it's not entirely ready. They're running a test right now, and so the Fugitoid and Baxter Stockman are arguing about, this is not. Well, Fugitoid really doesn't want to run the machine. Baxter's basically like, I have my hands tied. We have to run it
Yeah.
and fire it onto Burnell Island. And then we cut to this meeting again, because remember, we cut to this meeting where Oroku Saki, the Shredder, is talking to Metalhead, who is being controlled by Donatello.
Mm-hmm.
And so Donnie realizes that the only way that he's going to get the world safe from Krang is by working with Shredder to take him down.
Okay.
So Saki thinks it's a good idea. Or well, Saki's listening basically. He
Yeah.
understands like, okay, this is a threat to me too, and I don't like Krang because of the stuff that happened on the boat. And then Metalhead says, I'm a head out," and just drives away. And then Donnie talks with Harold. There's Harold, by the way, Tiff.
Alrighty.
Give her look at him.
He's a grumpy little dude.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what's your favorite Harold quote? Circuit.
Harold.
Fucking obtruse.
Truce is good. I was gonna say meh.
Meh or
Oh yeah,
obtruse.
Matt, absolutely.
Yep. So then, anyway, we cut back to the turtles and the mutanimals, and they're doing a joint training session.
Gotta love
And
supervillain training.
they're doing pretty good.
I like trains.
Yeah.
And they make it through here, and they were being trained by Hob and Splinter working together. And they talk about, you guys did pretty good, but we aren't going to use rubber bullets and dull down arrows against you guys. They're not going to be using bullets, these kinds of bullets and these kinds of arrows against you when we do the foot compound.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're planning to attack the foot compound right now. But anyway, Leo ends up talking to Splinter and says, hey, can we have a family meeting before we do this? And so they leave the mutanimals to just talk amongst themselves. April and Casey hang out for a little bit. Let's see. And so April and Casey are kind of like, the turtles really haven't been telling us what's been going on. Maybe we should help them out. And so April's like, I told Tiv about this. I don't think I ever really went into him with you, Circuit, or any of the other guys. Did I ever tell you about Dr. Miller?
I do not think so. No.
Okay, so you remember Secret History of the Foot Clan?
Yes.
That section? Okay. He was an important character in that, where he was the guy who had the pages.
Okay.
So April's like, okay, I'm gonna go see him.
Yeah.
And then so April heads out to go see him, and Casey's like, okay, time to do some neighborhood watch. And so, let's see. And then so Harold and Donnie are testing the teleporter again. They talk about, hey, don't forget what happened last time with those ghost guys, so that confirms Ghostbusters is canon.
Let's go.
What?
Let's go.
Let's
Ghostbusters
go.
is canon.
Yeah, it's sick. And then so Donnie teleports away, and he comes back, and he brought Harold a souvenir, and it was raining in Paris. Circuit, I ask you, who was in Paris?
Uh. remember.
I forgot. But Harold's like, oh yeah, I was so. But Harold says, oh yeah, I was so sure that was gonna work. Don't worry. And then I just love this shot of him just absolutely grinning.
The dramatic shading as well.
So then
Yeah, Harold.
Shredder readies his troops to go attack Burnell Island, and he's only taking with him. Let's see. He's only being accompanied by the elite guard, and then a bunch of foot soldiers. So that leaves Han, Bebop, Rocksteady, and Karai behind.
Okay.
Karai's like, this is stupid. I hate you again. Or well, not really. So Karai is just. She believes that she's not being used to, or no, she doesn't believe that it's wise to trust Donatello right now.
Sensible.
So
Smart.
and so Shredder's like, yeah, I don't really trust him all the way, so that's why I have a special mission for Bebop and Rocksteady. And then, let's see, what was the? And then so the Fugitoid and Baxter Stockman start to come into another agreement. They're talking about how they're going to stop the Technodrome somehow. I'm not going to say how, but and Krang, stepping out of his containment, can now walk freely on the section of Earth that was terraformed. On his new Ultramanon.
New Traumanon.
That was the name of the old. Because remember, he was from Ultramanon.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Tib, This is a weird little lore tidbit. I don't even know if I told. I don't think I told Circuit either. That the suit that is Krang using. Oh, I did. That's an actual guy. Like that is a guy that he hollowed out.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
And so Krang's ready to start doing it, and Krang's ready to start terraforming the entire Earth tomorrow. So it's time for the attack on the Technodrome, and everybody's getting ready for the Mutanimals and the Turtles are getting ready for the fight. And then Leo says, "Yeah, so me, Raph, and Mikey aren't joining you guys." So they change the plan, and it ends up that they are going to wait. But Splinter's still going to work with the Mutanimals. Like, Splinter says, you have my word.
Yeah.
It turns out that they're going to help out Donatello. Yep. So they head out. And then Krang's looking out over Burnell Island. And you can see the section right there, the brown section. That was the part that was terraformed. And then Fugitoid reveals to what? Wait, what's up?
Nothing. Carry on.
Okay. And then Fugitoid reveals that he knows that Shredder's about to attack the island. And so Krang obviously is mad at this because he's like, I'm going to freaking terraform the Earth, and there's like one group of people who can stop me, and you're telling me they're attacking? And so they end up throwing. Oh yeah, and then Baxter also reveals that he knows that that not only are the Foot Clan attacking, but also the Turtles are going to attack. Yep. And so they end up throwing them into. Oh yeah. Well, Baxter also said, "Hey, can I have a non-terraform section of Earth, please?" And he's like, "You know what? Fine, but you're living in a cell." Yep. And so Leo, Raph, and Mikey end up showing up, and Metalhead yells at Mikey, and it turns out that Harold is not in the lab right now. He's at a remote location, and he's controlling Metalhead. But that's pretty smart.
Yeah, very.
Yep. So, let's see. And so, but Donnie reveals, I have to be the one that stays behind to do the teleporting. And so they say their goodbyes. He sends his brothers out. And Harold asks him, why didn't you tell him that you're about to teleport the Foot Clan? Donnie just says that they couldn't have known. Or no, they would have had enough to worry about.
Yeah.
So, let's see. And so they're all chill. And so Shredder's ready to attack the island, but he's left behind Bebop and Rocksteady to be Donnie's babysitters. Isn't that nice?
Aww.
And Shredder says at the first sign of betrayal, he's killing him. So they teleport. They teleport out. April meets up with Dr. Miller. And she basically just says, hey, can you help us out? And he's like, the only reason I worked with the Foot is because it was going to save my life. So I don't really want to work with you because that's a threat to my life.
Fair and understandable.
And so Hobbs stakes out the Foot compound. All of the mutanimals are ready. Splinter's ready. And now we get the revelation of, remember when the turtles went to talk to Splinter after that little training exercise?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where they explain, okay, we're not going to be joining you in the fight against the Foot Clan. It's because we have a plan with Donnie. So, and so Leo remembers during the conversation with Rat King some information, and so he's thinking, hey, what if we used one enemy to destroy another, and they just destroy each other at the same time, right?
Grandpa, I got a major withdrawal.
So he explains this plan to Donnie, who is still upset about it. Donnie really liked it. Donnie decided to be the double agent and was just trying to play coy about all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Donnie was the spy, worked with Fugitoid to set up everything. And then so Splinter and the mutanimals attack the Foot headquarters, and the rest of them going into Technodrome. And it's a really good plan, but Splinter's kind of upset because he's like, well, why didn't you tell us? Or why didn't you tell me about your plan? And the turtles are like, you're really obsessed with Orokusaki. You need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Addiction is unhealthy.
Yep. And then so Shredder thinks he's got the element of surprise. He's ready to command his troops. And Krang is there to greet him.
Oh boy, Mr.
That battlesuit is sick, by the way.
It is.
I keep forgetting about it. Hold on, I need to check and see if... Alright. I don't know. Discord will, like, light up sometimes, and it'll be like, oh, you have a notification. It's like, no, I don't. Shut up.
Mine does that all the fucking time, and I hate it.
Yeah, I just see orange flashing in the bottom of my screen, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Alright, and so... Also, I kind of forgot how many just regular guys Krang had at his disposal. Like, you don't really think about it until you actually see it. Like, he has some stone soldiers, but remember, he didn't have enough mutagen because of the stuff that happened with Stockman.
Yeah.
So the Foot and Krang soldiers attack each other.
Fair.
And it's the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Awesome.
Epic.
Love some mayhem and
And then Krang decides, you know what? While all this stuff is going on, we're doing this Dynasty Warrior style. I'm gonna get my 2 assists, and I'm gonna attack Shredder and his 2 assists. So, it's Granitor and Trag and Krang versus Bludgeon and Koya and Shredder. And then we go to this issue. They're still attacking each other. Leo thought that they were going to get teleported inside of, like, the walls. Oh, your notification just went live, by the way.
Thanks, Twitch. Love it.
Gets rid of gambling, but the real gamble is when is your notification going to pop up.
True.
When do they send out the notifications?
Anyway, so Donnie thought he was going to be teleporting them inside of there, he thought they were... No, that's not what happened. Hold on, let me restart. They're watching the battle unfold, and Fugitoid was supposed to meet them, but obviously we know Fugitoid is currently busy being thrown in a cell. So Krang and Shredder fight some more.
I gotta say, go back to that last page. That bottom panel, I
That's
really
awesome.
like that.
It's awesome. It gets even better. Look at those freaking swords.
Mm-hmm.
What? No, he isn't using... No, he does have a sword. He has, like, a hidden blade, basically. That's sick.
Yeah. And Batman's going Assassin's Creed on him.
Yep. And so, you know, the Stone Soldiers are pretty strong, but they're not really much compared to the mutants.
Yeah, they're at the end of the day, they're just goons.
And then Krang reveals that Shredder has been betrayed, but not by. He thinks that. But so Krang knows that the person who told him about the attack was Fugitoid, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think Shredder assumes told Krang about the attack?
Donnie. Easy.
Yep. So anyway, Fugitoid and so Fugitoid and Baxter Stockman are locked up. Baxter talks about, oh yeah, I had a plan this whole time. I actually was going to stop the Technodrome with my fly robot that hacked into the systems, and I'm just gonna hold the world ransom, basically.
Ah, sick. Smart.
It's smart. Fugitoid doesn't like it, so he transforms back into Chet Allen, which Baxter Stockman now realizes that, oh yeah, he's so Chet was the Fugitoid the whole time. All right, anyway, I'm gonna electrocute everybody in this room with my mini Mausers. Look how small they are. They're little babies.
Little baby dudes. I like them.
I like them. Yeah. So everybody's getting bored waiting at the Foot compound, and an explosion happens. And anybody home? Hey, wait, where's Pete?
Where is Pete?
Where is
Oh, hey,
Pete?
big man.
Hey, big mans.
What?
It's Turtle Tuesday.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Oh, yeah?
Turtle Tuesday.
I love that. Well, I don't know what that is, but I love that he's wearing a knife edge, and also that there's a hermit crab with a machine gun.
Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on. Which? Yeah, those are the mutanimals. Big mans, do you have like an audio recording software?
Status report.
No
I mean-
casualties. Minimal damage to the
Kind of.
Kind of. What do you mean by
There's
that?
shadow play.
undead grub squashes.
Oh no, that's not gonna work. I was gonna say
that-
like
that
if you
ain't
wanted to, you could record your audio and you would be in the video, but like you're still welcome to join us, but you won't be shown. Like we won't be able to hear you in the video, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like when if we eventually end up making this into a thing. Anyway, so my mouse over here, I'll just hover over them. This is Herman the Hermit Crab. This is Slash,
I love
Old
that his
Hob.
name-
Mondo
Wow.
Gecko, and Splinter.
I love that the hermit crab has a mustache, but crustacean.
Also, his shell is a dumpster. It's been modified to hold all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This gets better by the second.
Honestly,
And also,
look,
Mondo Gecko has a skateboard that doubles as a sawed-off shotgun.
All right. Well, if you're recording a video, I'll leave you guys alone.
All right,
Have a good night.
have a
Okay,
good night, big
later.
mans.
See it.
It's that easy, folks.
That easy.
I like big mans, but like, I mean, you got to be able to record your stuff.
Yep.
Anyway, so the attack commences, and Hob just opens fire along with Herman. They all fight. Slash really hates Hun, by the way,
Oh,
because Slash hates child abuse.
That is fair.
relatable.
Yep. So Mondo Gecko gets caught off guard by Karai. Splinter saves him, and Splinter is basically trying to talk a little bit of sense in Karai. He doesn't want to like not fight her, but he's like, yeah, your grandpa's kind of a doofus, so like we need to settle this once and for all. And then turns out one of the reasons Hob was there was just to get more mutagen.
Ah, I see.
Well, he's also getting the mutagen away from the Foot Clan, which is like, you know, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
They don't need more mutagen to make more mutants because, you know, only one of their 3 mutants has been, or actually one of their 5 because Bebop and Rocksteady.
Mm-hmm.
One of their 5 ended up being good.
Garbage? No, it's not.
And then Hob basically tells the mutanimals, yep, we got what we came for. We're leaving. We're leaving Splinter behind.
Neato.
No, I don't know. Please
I-
enlighten me.
I said Neato.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so the turtles end up trying to find their way through the facility. They get stopped by a couple of guards, and turns out, yeah, Stockman was right around the corner with some more flyborgs, and he's carrying the body of Fugitoid. This bottom panel, gosh, why are all the bottom panels so good?
I don't know, but I like it. I
That's
do
a
like
great.
it as like a
That's a
running theme.
great panel.
Mm-hmm.
Krang is Krang is Millie walking Shredder.
I can see. Jesus Christ.
Yep. And then so the guards inform Krang that that Stockman has escaped, and so he just runs away. He just leaves the fight. And so while the turtles are busy fighting the Flyborgs, uh, Stockman starts the Technodrome again. And it turns out Krang realized, oh yeah, hey, you thought that you were installing malware software? I have backwards encryption. Yeah, so it turns out Krang was sponsored by NordVPN, so he was immune to the hack.
My man came prepared.
And so, the Technodrome begins. But before the Technodrome can start terraforming the island that they're on, Shredder commands Bebop and Rocksteady. Because remember what he said he would do.
Mm-hmm.
It's really upsetting, but like, look at Donnie's face. That is the face of a
Yeah.
man who has messed up. Yo, Harold Twitch streaming though.
I know.
Anyway, so Krang is marveling at his creation while the turtles are still fighting the Flyborgs. They finally stop them, and they say, "Hey, why don't we beat up Krang?"
That's a good thing to do.
Yep. So it turns out Baxter Stockman had a few Flyborgs left over, so he uses that to escape. They end up beating up the little mini Mousers, and so Fugitoid says we can maybe stop the Technodrome before it can spread anywhere else outside of this island. If you guys can distract Krang for me. And Krang's like, oh yeah, please try. He's using Pharah's ultimate from Overwatch.
I see.
Oh, this is totally off topic. Did you see the thing about Overwatch? Overwatch will be like non-existent for a day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Overwatch will cease to exist on October 2nd, and Overwatch 2 doesn't release till October 4th, so there will be a 24-hour period where the world is Overwatch free.
Thank goodness.
Will the world's problems finally be saved or solved during that time?
Yep.
Only God
So
knows.
Bebop and Rocksteady start fighting Donatello, and Donatello's putting a little bit of work in, but he's not really that much of a match for two giant mutants.
Yeah, that are like twice
So
his
turns out,
size.
so Harold ends up using Metalhead to try and stop him. Ends up hurting him. Donnie gets knocked over, hit across the head, and then Metalhead's arm gets ripped off by Rocksteady. Rocksteady picks up his sledgehammer. Bebop holds him down, and
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, Marshall.
Yikes.
We can't seem to isolate the problem.
yeah, so Rocksteady brought the sledgehammer down on Donnie's spine, and Harold could only watch. So Bebop and Rocksteady get told to go back to Foot headquarters, and they leave Donnie bleeding out on the floor. Back at the fight with, it's so hard to focus on anything else with this image.
Mm-hmm.
It is so horrifying.
That's powerful, to say the least.
Yeah, it is crazy. Anyway, so the Krang and the Turtles are still fighting, and Raph's like, hey, can you hurry up? And he's like, yeah, maybe. And they're like, okay. So they're all doing a pretty good job of fighting him. They end up actually breaking his voice box, so he's so he's kind of stuttering in his voice while he's trying to get up.
Yeah.
Splinter's like, oh hey, or Cry's like, oh hey, look, the mutant animals left. You don't got any friends left, and then nobody and Alpex show up.
Nobody.
Yep, nobody. And so Splinter's basically just like, hey, so, we need to stop your grandpa from doing stupid stuff. So, like, can you talk to him? And so Cry throws a smoke bomb, and as she's leaving, nobody gets a comm call from Harold, and it's emergency SOS.
Yeah.
Yep. So he tells Angel and Alapex and Splinter, get to the lab right now. So the island's starting to get terraformed, and it is hurting them because humans, stone soldiers, or mutants can't live on this kind of terrain. Because it's like, it changes the atmosphere itself. It's not an oxygen-rich atmosphere anymore.
Yeah. It's whatever Krang breathes or needs to live.
Yep. And so all those soldiers are starting to die. Koya and Bludgeon think that Shredder is dead, and so they retreat. But a flyboard comes and saves Shredder, brings it to a boat, and turns out Baxter Stockman ended up saving the Shredder.
Back at it again.
Yep. So they just have to hold off Krang for a little bit longer, and they end up launching him into some wires with a triple kick. I forgot about that. The triple kick is sick. And they rerouted the power. They shut off the Technodrome, and Krang is stopped. Raph wants to kill him. Fugitoid tells him not to, because they're like, okay, you need to get out of here right now, because this room isn't made for an environment that you guys can live in. Like, it's about to start flooding in with the stuff that everybody on the island was breathing.
Yeah.
So he teleports them away, and he decides, all right, Krang, guess what? He said, hey, Krang, so you know how you wanted to make a new home for your people? Yeah, so turns out you did. It's this island. But your people aren't gonna die. These soldiers will die, and that's why I'm taking you back to Dimension X, where you'll stand trial. But they teleport back. They're greeted by Alapex and Angel, who are both very disturbed. And this. I just like to let this scene hover for a second.
That's.
It's messed up.
Oh yeah.
Also, his bow staff is broken down there in the bottom left too. I know this is a horrible thing to say. This is not going in the video. Please, whoever's editing this, Rebecca, do not put this in the video. But Harold taking off his headset should be a meme.
Ooh.
It's a terrible thing. But since I've read through this like a couple times now, it's kind of lost some shock value. But it's still a terrible moment. This is.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Some sick covers, by the way. Some sick alternate covers.
Want to go back one?
Like this one.
I was gonna say, yeah, I like that one
Oh, yeah.
a lot.
Wait, this one?
No, the one you were just on. Yeah.
Technodrome?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That was not too
Yeah.
bad either.
Yeah, I like that one. This one of Nobody's pretty good.
Of who?
I love this one. Of Slash fighting Bebop and Rocksteady. And then
Beat! Look at him, it's Beat!
And then there's Turtles in Time. Alright, and then we're on to Collection 6. So we're gonna, I think Casey and April's finished. So we won't go through all of this because Casey and April's a part of it, but like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna skip forward. So let's avoid all of the stuff that's going on with the turtles and stuff because that's obviously not important. Let's focus on the mute animals right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, nobody cares about what's happening with Donatello right now.
of course
No,
not.
no, not at all.
Anyway, so turns out Pete was watching Lindsay while the rest of the mute animals were attacking. And he has a ridiculous talk. He's talking to Lindsay about, hey, so what's the best fruit? And Lindsay's like, okay, well, it's subjective. You got to take into account like backgrounds. And then Pete just goes, right, blueberries. So why isn't there a blueberry cola?
Pete out here asking the real questions, dude.
And then Lindsay's just, I don't know, Pete. Doesn't know why there's no blueberry cola. And he's writing down everything Lindsay says. And then Pete gets kidnapped by a guy. Lindsay sees it. They start. Lindsay calls to Hob to try to, make sure he knows where they are.
Yeah.
Pete barely avoids getting shot in the head.
Jesus.
Yep. And so they throw Lindsay and Pete into a van. The other mute animals return home. Hob hears all of it on his voice messaging. And he's like, okay, so after that whole Bebop and Rocksteady incident, I ended up putting a tracking device in Pete. And then Mondo Gecko's like, wait, you didn't do that to all of us, right? And Hop's just, no, you're just being paranoid. So they end up meeting with a woman named Jillian. And surprise, surprise, Lindsay is the first LGBT character in TMNT, that's her ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
Neato.
Yeah. That's just a little neat little trivia, I guess. And then so they're just like, hey, so we want you to come work with us. We're just gonna take Pete here back home. And then as Lindsay goes into building, they're like, and by home we mean take him to the rail yard. So Lindsay ends up talking with Jillian, and they're just talking about like Jillian, is not a great person.
Yeah.
She's basically, they're going through a job interview. Lindsay's kind of interested, but she is she's still kind of worried about it. The mute animals take their van, roll up, and save Pete. I love this one about Pete's like, hey, I'm scared of jumping, and then Herman's just like, fly! Turns out Pete can't fly.
Oh, poor Pete.
Hey, mister, are you alright? Hi, I'm Pete. So Hob ends up crashing the van and attacking some of those guys. They interrogate him. And they find out this guy has a family, so they threaten his family if they don't talk.
Smart.
And
but
Slash isn't really okay with that.
I was gonna say smart, but a bit rough.
Oh, wait, look at Pete riding the bike in the background. I never noticed that before. It's so good. He took that kid's bike.
oh no.
He rode it.
Hi, I'm Pete. Give me your bike.
It's I'm Pete, give me your bike. Anyway, they end up finding out where Lindsay is, and it's just showing. And they're talking about they're working with mutagen.
Yeah.
Bob realizes that this is a lab, and it's a lot like the place that kind of made him. And he says it's not a lab; it's a torture chamber. So he starts to go crazy on the place, and he just tells the mutant animals, "Find the other mutants. We gotta save them from this place." Jillian and Lindsay end up leaving together. Lindsay protects Jillian for some reason. Doesn't tell her Mondo where they are. Lindsay leaves out back, and she calls into the boss lady. There's the CEO at the bottom. It's an interesting head style.
Yeah. Quite so.
So This is a little content warning right now. This next section gets a little bit disturbing.
I don't care.
I'm letting
Okay.
anybody. This ends up being a video. I'm letting anybody know. I know you can handle it. Anyway, so they end up breaking through the rooms to try to see if they can find some mutants, and they find one.
What the fuck is that?
They call him the Mutagen Man. He's a hybrid of a lot of different animals.
What
So,
animal has a
Hobbs says that
metal
he's here to
staff?
save them. Hobbs says that he's here to save them, and Mutagen Man goes, "Why would I need to walk for you to save me? You said you were here to save me, so save me."
I've got all the firepower you need.
Shit. Oh.
Don made these bombs, and he's one of the best.
So he definitely does not appreciate life right now,
Yeah, he's not that happy. of a
for
man.
obvious reasons, I think.
Yeah.
And so Herman tells him that we're taking you out of here. They end up leaving. They see a bunch of other guards. They go back into the van. And they're ready to fight now. Also, this is a sick little alternate cover.
That's a nice cover. I'll say.
Yeah.
I like fucking Herman up top.
Like everybody looks great in this.
I almost thought that was Pete with the fucking shredder gauntlet.
That would have been funny. Anyway, they get back home. I love this image of Herman. It looks like one of those depressed Mr. Krabs edits.
He died.
Oh no. Sixth panel and like that section of 6 in the middle. That is Mr. Krabs for sure. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Those
But-
eyes.
Herman and Mondo just kind of talk a little bit, and Herman just has a problem with like relaxing. Mondo doesn't have that same problem. And so they talk a little bit about Mutagen Man. And so Lindsay and Jillian end up meeting with the boss lady. So that is Madame Null.
Madam Null?
And she owns, wait for it, the Null Group.
No way.
Holy shit, now way.
And so Lindsay's like, okay, I don't really want to work with you. And she's like, okay, great, you're working for us now. Anyway. They increased the security at the place that they had raided.
Mm-hmm.
Mutagen Man gets up. He wakes up and he's just like, well, nobody's really telling me what to do, so like I'm just kind of just left. And he's very nervous about stuff because he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he doesn't look too happy.
Mondo Gecko invites him to play some video games with him.
Oh.
And then so he's like, you know what, Mutagen Man, I don't really want to call you Mutagen Man. And he's like, do you have a real name? He says, no, I never really had one. He's like, well, you know what? I'm going to call you Seymour Guts, because when I look at you, I see more guts. And it makes Mutagen Man laugh.
Whole crowd is in fact laughing.
And so Mondo Gecko's like, that's the first time I've heard you laugh. And then he admits, Seymour admits that's the first time he ever has.
Yeah, that's just sad.
So Hob and Slash end up meeting with a scientist. Let's see. And they're talking about making they're making hybrid mutants instead of just normal mutants.
Fancy.
And this guy is just kind of trying to talk his way out of getting like killed because he's working for Null.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just doing this I need to pay off my mortgage, man.
But obviously Hobbs is not a fan.
And then so they revealed that they had worked with some other experiments, so other mutants. And a lot of them had died, but there's still 2 left that aren't Seymour. And so Hob just wants to know where they are. He starts to get really intense at interrogating. And Slash stops him, but he tells him that they're at the train yard. They end up leaving, come back home. And then Slash calls out Hob for basically acting like a terrorist, and then I just love this little bottom interaction. Terrorist, how dare you call me? And then just Pete walking by. How dare you call me a terrorist?
Pete.
Yep.
He's Pete.
And then Hob explains that he's doing this for people like Seymour because they can't really fight for themselves.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying he's a freedom fighter. They end up loading up for the fight, and
Hey, what's up, Rotom?
oh, hey, Ayrton.
Here.
Hello.
Is it Turtle Tuesday?
Turtle Tuesday. We're in the middle of the Mute Animals story. If you want to hang out,
Sure. I'm trying to do TF2 achievements, so got nothing better to do.
do you have audio stuff?
Audio stuff?
Like anything to record your own audio?
No.
Okay, well, you're not gonna if we end up making this into a video, you're not gonna show up in the video, but you're welcome to stay here and hang out with us because we love you.
Wait, how am I not supposed to show up in the video? What?
Because we're recording our own audio separately. That's how we're gonna keep the audio
Oh.
parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically all it is just Circuit records background footage on Twitch
Mm-hmm.
for the video, and then all of us just kind of talk separately and just do our own thing while I explain the comic.
Oh, cool. So whatever video this is gonna be, it's just you guys talking fucking no one.
Wait,
Talking
what?
to you're talking to a ghost because I can't be picked up on the audio.
Yeah, you won't be
Yeah.
able to be picked up.
Oh yeah, that's
So like you're welcome to stay and listen though.
Yeah.
I just probably won't respond to your questions because they won't show up. So if somebody else asks your question though. Anyway, so outside of that distraction, so Hob tells the other Mutanimals to load up, and he tells Seymour, you don't have to come with us. I understand it. And Seymour says that he agrees with his speech, and he tells him, my name isn't Mutagen Man, it's Seymour Guts, and Hob's just, okay. They end up going into the train yard, and it's a trap, obviously.
Yeah.
Back. And they also end up meeting Madame Null. And Mutagen Man is terrified of her. And Hobbs like, well, does she handle lead well? And it turns out, yeah, she handles lead really well.
splendid.
So the Null security ends up attacking all of them. They take out Herman, they take out Hob, they capture Pete. They also capture Seymour again. Slash gets out of there though. And it turns out, hey, remember how I said there were 2 other mutants?
Yeah.
There's 2 other mutants.
Wow.
So you've got Sally over there on the left, and you got Ray over there on the right. And so they're talking about, we'll find a way to break out of this cage and help anybody that's getting fought with right now. But they end up throwing all the other mutanimals in there and just leave them locked up. So the only 2 that managed to escape were Slash and Mondo. And so Slash is saying, we're going to be heroes. Mondo, we're going to be heroes. Mondo can only say, ow. There's a great cover, too.
Oh, hell yeah. Pete knows glory.
Oh yeah.
Wearing flip-flops.
That's a bird.
And he
Which
has
is the
Diet
word.
Coke.
Servant of mine. Walk.
So, Slash is sneaking around trying to find a new vehicle. They end up getting transported on the train. Sally and Ray end up introducing themselves. Turns out that Sally is actually a pilot. She's a driver and pilot. She can just do all that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Vehicles.
So Sally's like, hey, how are you going to drive a train to safety? And Sally's just like, I'll find a way to do it.
Yeah.
Bob checks up on everybody else. And then they find out that Mondo and Slash are coming to save them. They break onto the train. I love this. So Mondo gets picked up by Slash and they jump out of the truck. They end up breaking in, but some of Null's security ends up also breaking in. Mondo gets hurt, and Slash not very happy about that, about getting caged again. So
Nice.
he kind of reverts back for a second.
Back to Big Dumb.
But did
No
they
more
infect
pain, no more
Zero?
cage.
I respect it. No more pain, no
Yep.
more cage.
And then he rips open the train
Fucking A,
with his
dude.
rage.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And then so Slash ends up coming to, and he realizes, oh, I kind of lost control for a second. Don't worry, guys, I'm fine.
Yeah, everything is
So-
okay. Just like just like
All is well. Go back
Yep.
to your business stuff.
Lindsay is done dealing with Madame Null, and so Madame Null just threatens to drop her off the building, and Lindsay's like, you know what, I'm tired of your crap. You just treat everybody like you're gonna hurt them, but you can't really do anything, can you? So she picks up one of her security guys and sucks his soul?
Looks like it.
And
I mean, he's basically
Sucks his life force.
owns. Yeah.
So she's a
And so basically, she's like, you know what? You don't get a job anymore. You're working with Julian, and she's basically just gonna interrogate you for the rest of the time.
sounds fun.
And Jillian's just like, you know what? I'm tired of and so Jillian just shares a few secrets with Lindsay in a blind spot. They end up talking, and she's like, okay, I can help you, but we just have to be careful about it. So Slash and Hob talk about him getting out of control, and Slash realizes that when he's doing all that stuff, he's just as bad as the other people because he doesn't have any control over himself.
Yeah.
Hob says, nope, you're not as bad as them because you're not a human. And then, I love this little interaction about, so that ends the tour. I'll go get your beds ready, and if you need anything else, just ask. I'm Pete. Not sure if I mentioned that repeatedly.
Pete.
Oh, and try not to poop on the floor. Hob starts to get pretty mad after the 5th or 6th time that happens. And so Seymour gets worried that Null's going to create some more hybrids, and they're all getting ready to join the fight again. Let's see. Pete and Seymour talk a little bit. Nope, I've always been free as a... whatever. And Seymour just kind of checks up on himself, and he's starting to think of doing something. He runs off, comes back to Null. He's talking to all of them, and he rips off his chest plate, and it turns out he's basically made himself into a bomb.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ. Okay.
Yep. And he's going to make sure that nobody in that lab can hurt another mutant again.
That's not a very Seymour Guts thing to do.
Doesn't sound like it.
Not at all.
And then, so they end up riding. They end up riding to try to save him. They break in, and they're basically just. Lindsay's like, okay, you know what? I understand what you're doing, but everybody's just going to be able to leave anyway. Like, you're not stopping them. It turns out that he remembers how to lock people in by basically just hitting some chemicals and forcing a lockdown.
Smart. Very smart.
Only Hob and Sally make it in. Oh, also, funny little fact: her full name is Sally Pride, like as in Sally Ride, because they're both pilots.
Oh boy.
Oh, how funny! Yeah.
Funny comedy.
Haha.
And then so Hobbs starts to talk to Seymour, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna get you out of here. Where's the bomb?" And Lindsay's like, "He is the bomb." And Hobb realizes the mistake he made in telling Seymour that any of them could have been a sacrifice, basically.
Hmm.
And so the rest of the mutant animals break in. Lindsay ends up ripping out his wires
Mm-hmm.
to to stop the bomb from going off.
Yeah.
And she says that we're gonna have to work on you again, but we're here to help you. And so Lindsay joins back up with the mutant animals. Hobb flies in to Null and basically just tells them, "Yeah, we're just gonna
Make.
we're going to let me see." He basically just starts rubbing it in Madame Null's face that he's gonna start like just beating her. And then the rest of the mutant animals land on the top of the building. Also, we still have never figured out what these things are called, have we? Those things on the top.
Oh yeah.
Not really, no.
Like they were in Shredder's Revenge. I just have no idea what they're called. I have to look it up.
Exactly what I'd expect.
Grabby boys.
Grabby boys.
That's what they did.
That's all they do. They grab and they whip you.
The rest of the mutant animals sneak through the building. Lindsay and let's see. Jillian. I almost forgot her name. So Lindsay and Jillian end up taking all of her research and all that stuff. And Lindsay just punches Jillian in the face and just leaves her locked up.
Kind of rude.
Runs away. They all start fighting. Pete gets hit.
Pete.
Yep. And then so Madame Null's just like, "Oh, look, your plan isn't working. Who could have seen that coming?" And it turns out, yeah, Sally had another plan. So she just crashes the helicopter in there and saves everybody. And rips off a helicopter blade and uses it as a sword.
Fucking A, let's go.
Yep. And they take apart all the robots. And it turns out Hobbs been getting fought by Madame Null. And also, so she starts using her little powers on him.
Mhm.
He slashes at her. And she's like, "Oh, did you really expect that to hurt me? Nah, this is gonna hurt you though." And Seymour launches a rocket launcher at her.
Jesus. Direct impact too.
Yep. And so she basically just keeps on repeating that they can't win. And Han's like, "Yeah, well, we can't win, but we can, we can set your research back. We can mail the press and tell them what's going on." And then, there's also this nice callback. "So put your efforts elsewhere. Cure cancer. Set up a mining colony on Venus. Develop a new sports drink." And then Pete, "Or a blueberry cola." Or a blueberry cola.
Or a blueberry cola.
And then he says that he will find a way to kill her, even if it involves strapping her on a rocket and shooting her into the sun. So everybody goes back to heal up. Let's see. And then it turns out that Ray ended up getting all of the names of everybody that worked for Null. And they agree not to tell Slash because it's not really the thing Slash should know. Because Slash wants to still be a hero.
Yeah.
They all end up sitting at the table for dinner like a family.
Oh,
Yeah.
one big, happy, weird-ass family.
Anyway, wasn't that a nice story about the mutant animals?
That
Oh, yeah.
was. Now let's get back
Yep.
to...
Anyway, hey, remember what happened to Donnie?
Yeah, he's, like, dead or dying.
Yep. So Donnie is now in somewhere else. He doesn't know where he is, but he's getting greeted by his wife, or not his wife. Oh my gosh! Hold on.
Oh, my
Redo. But Donnie ends up waking up in a strange world and gets greeted by his mom, Tang Shen. So Fugitoid comes in to tell them that Krang has been secured and he's going to be held on trial, and everybody's just kind of, everybody's obviously upset.
Yeah.
And so they think that Donnie's dead. Fugitoid comes up, and Donnie is not actually dead. Donnie's alive, but he's barely there. And so Fugitoid's like, okay, do you guys have a cooler in here? Like a cooling unit? They're like, okay, yeah, we have one in the back. So they carefully take Donnie back there, and Fugitoid takes Harold, and he's just basically like, I've got a plan. I'm gonna go back to Brunel Island real quick, and we're gonna save Donatello. And so while Harold helps keep him alive in the real world, Splinter decides he's gonna take a more mystical approach.
Become one with the universe.
So he goes into the world where Donatello is. So so Bebop and Rocksteady are trying to find Hun. He's not there. Koya and Bludgeon return, and Karai's mad because Shredder's not there. So they find out. So Karai finds out they failed to protect Shredder. But Karai says even though the Foot Clan's dead, even though Shredder's dead, the Foot Clan is not. So now I am, now I am the leader.
Hmm.
And then, hey, remember how Casey was gonna go out on neighborhood watch?
Yeah.
He finally found some guys to beat up.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
A couple of purple dragons.
Splendid.
And so he ends up taking all those guys down, and he talks to the shopkeeper a second, and he
hey,
gives
Tim,
him
thanks for
he gives him a
following.
cricket pet. Wait, what?
Sid, follow me.
Wait, who said? Wait, what's up?
I was thinking a follow from Tiv.
Oh, nice, good job, Tiff. Anyway, so Casey talks about how this guy should try to protect himself, so he gives him a cricket paddle, and then he talks about, oh hey, by the way, there was a big scary guy walking around this neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Look who it is.
Papa.
That's
Hun.
the big scary guy.
It's Han, and he's going right into the second time around shop. So Donnie's pondering delight with his mom, while Fugitoid and Harold sit in the cooling unit. And so he's hooking up Donnie to a couple of machines, and he's getting it ready. And everybody else just kind of sits outside because there's not really much they can do.
Yeah.
Raph is taking it extremely hard
Oh yeah.
because remember he was alone for a long time, so he's kind of upset about losing anybody.
That's fair.
Al tries to calm him down. Mikey ends up telling Raph to shut up and just basically to accept that Donnie did something that he thought was right. So Raph ends up storming off. Al goes to check up on him. And that leaves Leo, Mikey, and Angel just to wonder what's going on in there. Elsewhere in New York, Shredder wakes up in an apartment to find out, hey, Baxter Stockman saved me. I don't like that. And so it turns out Stockman's got him surrounded by a couple of his own security measures, and he's basically like, okay, we need to make a partnership because we have to stop these turtle guys. How long have we been recording for? Oh, we're at an hour right now.
Yeah, give or take an hour.
Yeah, I should probably get going soon, after this section.
I'll finish this issue to leave you off on something, and I'll just do the rest of it with Circuit. But if you'll stop your recording and save it and put it in bitch room, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Yep. So I'll finish this up. Anyway, so Shredder decides to hear Stockman out, and he's like, you know what? Let's work together. So Donnie ends up getting drawn back by Splinter, and it turns out so Donnie's awake now, but he's not in his own body. He put Donnie inside of Metalhead. And okay, now you can stop, Tiff. You can stop there. All right. So all you have to do is just save that, and then save it as an MP3 because that's how you have to put it into and just call it like just call it like Turtle Tiv 1 or something.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Make sure you save it as a normal thing too.
Alright.
Not to be on the call for any of this. If you want to go ahead and go and just make sure you got all this stuff saved, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
I'll win NVC until I actually get it done, because as I said, I do not know how to use Audacity.
I
gotcha.
That
Alright.
is fair.
So we'll go on. I'm gonna go on ahead and keep talking if you want, Circuit.
Okay.
Donnie's he finds it very weird. He's working on himself while he's in a robot body.
That's understandably very weird.
Yep. So everybody's just kind of talking about how they're going to take good care of Donnie, even though Donnie's just kind of freaking out. He's just gonna he just needs to walk it off for a second.
Yeah.
And so they're all just trying to figure out, hey, how can we make Donnie feel better? And they're like, you know what? There's also another person who's kind of hurting right now. So we cut out here to Raph and Alapex. And Al's just trying to explain to him, hey, what he did would have, if he hadn't have done it, it would have killed all of us. Like, the Technodrome would have gotten all of us and we wouldn't be here anymore. So he's a hero for doing that.
Yeah,
And he's still alive right now. And Raph reasons that he's a robot. But Al says that that's your brother. He still needs you. So, okay, so I guess that's Tiv just left.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait, Ertem, you're still on the call? What the heck?
Yeah, he's still here.
Huh? Yeah.
I heard him. I thought you had left. That's my bad.
No, I've just been quiet because you guys can't fucking record my voice.
Oh, I mean, you can still kind of talk. I'm sorry.
I haven't had much to talk about either way.
What do you think about Donatello being inside of a robot body?
Pretty neat.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We must be close to the Altar of Secrets.
I'm like Marge Simpson. I just think it's neat.
I just think they're neat. Anyway, so they're planning their next move. They're gonna go find out where the mutant animals are, or they're gonna go find out what the Foot's up to. They just need to leave. And then so Raph's still really worried about leaving Donnie behind.
That's fair.
So Alapex is just like, he's in good hands right now. You can go. And so he thanks Alapex for the advice, and she says, "What are friends for?" And then Angel comes up to Alapex and says, "Friends, huh?" And so Al reacts to it a little bit. Did you or Horse bring up the thing about the Dark Knight?
I think that was Horse.
Yeah. I wish he was here because this was the reference I was talking about. Do you see that the bottom page, right?
Yes.
Do you know what that's a reference to?
I do not.
Let me pull it up real quick. Let me see if it should be like, there we go. It's a reference to this.
Ah.
Like, it's pretty one for one.
Yeah, that's some good homage. I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, Angel's like, okay, you know what? We also need to do some patrolling. And so they say they're gonna go to the second time around store.
Mm-hmm.
And the O'Neills are having to deal with Hun, who's back on the bottle.
Oh boy.
Yep. And so Hun is explaining, I'm happy because the Foot are gone. They're gone, Casey. Now we can be father and son again.
Yay.
Yep. And Casey just tells his dad, please leave.
The good response.
And this is a good quote, by the way, because he's like, didn't you hear me, kid? I'm my own boss now. No, you ain't. You're holding the boss in your hand. Yeah. So, Mr. O'Neill threatens him with a staple gun.
Hey,
She's like,
man,
oh,
those
who's
things
gonna
hurt.
make me leave? And then Angel and Alapex walk in and say, yeah, you need to leave. So Hun ends up leaving. And Angel and Alopex introduce themselves to the O'Neills. The O'Neills are once again scared because mutants.
Yeah.
So they start cleaning up. And they also explain the news to Casey and them about what happened to Donnie. Karai talks to the Foot now that she's the leader.
Mm-hmm.
She commands everybody, and they're all kind of, they're taking it in stride.
That's fair.
But then Donnie talks to Fugitoid. He's like, okay, hey, being a robot is weird. No offense. He's like, I feel like I need to eat and need to sleep, but like, I don't understand what's going on. And he's like, his back should be like killing him right now.
Yeah.
And Harold and Fugitoid are basically just like, it's phantom pain, circadian rhythm. It's just, you're gonna be fine. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm. Going from being alive to...
And then, hey, look who Mikey's hanging out with. It's Woody.
Keep forgetting his name.
Nah. It's alright. Anyway, so he's telling him about all that stuff that's going on with Donnie.
Yeah.
And so Woody's just very thankful for what Donnie did, and he just pounds it with Mikey.
Hell yeah.
And Mikey goes and he grabs a pizza because he's gonna go find the mutanimals. And then Dr. Miller ends up getting in his car, and it turns out part of the Ashi no Fumitsu also talked about a pantheon of gods. And they all disappeared around a time of mass destruction, which can be attributed to the biblical flood.
Oh,
Okay.
Yep. And they said, well, they're not actually gone, but they're still waiting, and they will show up again. Yep.
Okay.
And so he tells April that you can find another book in the American Southwest. And so she ends up She ends up taking the thing from him. She ends up taking that scroll to get Splinter to take a look at it. And as Dr. Miller's driving away, he ends up getting stabbed in the back by a foot assassin.
That's a lot
There
of
was-
blades.
there was a red spy in the base.
Oh, Red Spy is in the base. Anyway, no, that's because they're basically like Freddy Krueger hands, where it's just blades all over.
Yeah, I see the panel underneath the bladed gauntlet.
So Baxter Stockman ends up taking Shredder to TCRI, which is another company he owns,
Mm-hmm.
and he shows that he's mass producing some more Mausers and Flybots.
Oh boy. Good old cannon fodder that actually work.
And so the O'Neills all chill out with Casey and Angel and Al, and then they're like, okay, you know what? It's been a crazy night. We're going to sleep. Like, pretty reasonably. So
Understand.
that leaves all the teens down. That leaves, I guess they're not teens. Alapex is a teen, but like the other two, I guess they're grown up. Anyway,
It's
so that leaves the three youngins downstairs,
youngins.
and they hear some yelling outside. Turns out Hun's back with the purple dragons.
Hey, another bottle of whiskey. Let's go.
Yep. I don't know what it is about Alapex in this cover. I've seen it a couple times, and she just kind of reminds me of Wolverine.
Looks like a little fucking cave gremlin.
Yeah, I was about to say
That's
gremlin looking.
Seeing the light for the first time.
Squinting. Oh, also, fun fact, what do you think? That's actually face paint on her, I guess.
Hmm.
It's apparently supposed to be a reference to, like, Native American war paint.
I don't see it. I see generic war paint number 42.
Anyway. Well, that's what it's supposed to be, kind of. Oh, free comic book day. Okay, this is great. This would have been great for freaking Tev because this is like literally just a recap.
Hmm.
And so Splinter talks about how they got reincarnated.
Yeah.
He talks about all the stuff that happened to them. So there's Tang Shen dying, them fleeing, them about to get beheaded. You know, good times.
Yeah, good old memories. You love
Yep.
remember.
And then they get reincarnated as the turtles and the rat, and they show up and they fight the foot still. But Splinter shows himself meditating next to Donnie's body. And the rest of his turtles are chilling out. Mikey can't find the mutant animals because I think during all of this, I think the mutant animals storyline was running at the same time because mutant animals picked up right when they left from the foot compound.
Hmm.
They would be, I think, looking for Lindsay and Pete at this time.
Okay. Some parallel stories. Makes sense.
And then so, remember, Shredder was basically in command of a lot of the city at this point.
Yeah.
So he ends up, everybody's kind of like happy or just taking to the streets because Shredder's gone. So now they can kind of walk around and do whatever they want for a second.
Yeah. Have a little time.
Yep. Yeah, they're having a time, all right.
Yeah. Having a little time.
And then they talk.
Chicken.
Wait, what?
There's an enemy in Guild Wars called a Risen Chicken. It dies in one hit and explodes in fucking fart gas.
That's so dumb. Anyway, let's see. So, and like I said, this is a free comic book day thing. It is literally just recap stuff. So they talk about the stuff with the foot, the Savate. They talk about Leo getting brainwashed. All of that stuff. And it shows them saving them.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about Casey and his dad. They talk about how they talk about how Casey's been a good friend, Angel's been a good friend. Raph talks about how Alapex made a heel turn, and then Mikey makes fun of him. He says, "Yeah, you just think it's good because you get to hang out with Alapex more. Raph and Alapex sitting in a tree." And Raph tells him to shut up. And then they talk about the new mutant enemies they have, the new mutant friends they have, the fight that they had.
Yeah.
How April's a help, how Harold's a help. And their other big enemies was Shredder and Krang. Oh, well, they're talking about how they think that they're both gone because Krang's in jail, Shredder's presumed dead.
Yeah.
They talk about Donnie's idea for using Metalhead. They talk about the fight. They show Donnie's death again and how he's in Metalhead. They see some more lawlessness going on down on the street, and they start to fight. Oh, guess who invites them to fight? Leo is the first one to jump into a fight for once. She's like, you know what? Everybody else is breaking the rules. Let's break a few of our own by not being very ninja-like tonight.
Fair enough.
So they go down the street, fight some purple dragons, and Hun shows up. This is the weird part of this story to me. Because Hun was... I think this part isn't canon. I'm going to say that. Because Hun was out in front of the second time around, right?
Yeah.
Why would he leave there? Unless this is like something else that's happening that night. Like maybe this was earlier in the night or something.
That's probably what it was.
So they all start fighting Hun for a little bit. And then Hun ends up getting found by the mutants. And they're like, hey, you're still part of the Foot, right? And he's like, yep, and just runs away. And then so Bludgeon and Koya end up fighting with the Turtles, and Metalhead comes in to save them, but Metal Donnie.
Yeah.
and he ends up crashing because he can't really control the new body as well. And Shredder gets ready with Baxter Stockman for his return. All right, we have, let's see, we have 4 more issues.
Okay,
Can you handle it?
I can.
All right, here we go. Yep, see, so now Hun's right back to where he was. And then so Casey, Angel, and Alopex step out of the shop, and then so the O'Neills call the police.
Hmm.
They start to get ready for the fight. And then so let's see. And so it's basically the 3 of them against an army almost.
Yeah.
John O'Neill goes out to help, and then Arune, that guy from earlier, that shopkeep, says he's going to return a favor. So he comes out there, and it turns out that Arune is he ends up hitting Hun on the back of the head with the cricket paddle.
Ah, man.
How about Casey? And Mr. O'Neill had grabbed the toaster,
Toast.
and he just throws the toaster at a guy. And then Angel and Al they're obviously they're capable of fighting for themselves. But the rest of the people on the street start to see Arune fighting, and they're like, "Hey, that guy's pretty cool. Let's go help." So a bunch of people from the street are joining in the fight.
Hell
So
yeah.
now it's an army of the neighbors against the Purple Dragons.
Very nice. Good old turtles.
Yep. And so all the Purple Dragons retreat. Hun laughs about it. And then let's see. And then Han just does the we're the same, you and I talk. And he starts to get ready to and he's just telling him that that Casey's going to be just like him when he gets older. But then he gets stopped. The police are there. Yep.
Stop. This is the law.
And so they end up cuffing Hun, throwing him in a squad car. And her name is Detective Carol Lewis. And so she thanks them for finding one of New York's most wanted. Casey says he's not wanted by me. And then one of the cops just goes, "Hey, Detective Lewis, I swear I just saw a giant white fox in these." And she's like, "Nope, stop, shut up. We have enough paperwork already." Brings him the scroll. And they just are all pondering over it for a little bit. And I guess I think I forgot to mention that also during the Fall of the Foot Clan, or the secret history of the Foot Clan. They destroyed the Ashino Himitsu in that.
Ashino Hubitsu?
The foot book.
Oh, okay.
I have to send you the Word documents because I definitely wrote down stuff that I never talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll send you those sometime.
Okay.
Anyway, and then on the page of the Pantheon, Mikey points out a guy that looks like a rat.
Rat.
A rat guy wearing a crown. He looks interesting. Leo's interested.
A rat guy wearing a crown.
We held them down south of Shiny. What's different now?
And then so April says that she and Casey are going to go down to the southwest to try and figure out where go and investigate that book, the other book that Dr. Miller was talking about.
Okay.
And let's see. So Karai is getting mad at her subordinates, and just like that, the old boss came back. So Karai instantly gives up her throne. And then Shredder's basically, hey, Shredder's ready for revenge, guys. Like in the hit game Shredder's Revenge.
Shut up.
Anyway, but yeah, he's just so focused now on fighting with Hamato Yoshi that he's hired out Baxter Stockman to put on this mind thing and send out his own army.
Armies.
General keep his armies.
In his sleeves.
You honor me.
And so it turns out that I don't know how they tracked them, but it turns out that the robots all go to attack the church. Donnie tells Honeycutt and Harold about it. While they're all chilling, the robots start attacking only Splinter. They only care about Splinter. Yep.
Only the rat.
So they're trying to defend Donnie because they don't really realize that they're only after Splinter right now.
Okay.
And so Leo tells Mikey to protect Donnie's body. Donnie ends up coming in, and I just love that. Just like, hey, it's okay. Mikey's like, hey, it's okay, Donnie, don't worry, I'm here for you. Then Donnie comes in, I'm not worried.
It's working. Confirmed. The projector beam is now ready for
And so Donnie ends up saying, yep, we got a plan for this, don't worry. So they end up teleporting Donnie's body over to Bernau Island, where it's kept secure in a pod where he's getting all the oxygen he needs.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. And then, let's see. And so, Angel and Alapex they get the coordinates from Harold about where the fight's going down. Angel once again teases Alapex about, hey, you're gonna get to see your friend again. Your quotation marks friend.
Your friend.
Yep. That's how they would say. Gosh, I don't know how to do that kind of voice.
Friend.
It's working.
Men.
We're seeing the last sights the eye saw before it died.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so
Soldiers.
and then that same police officer from earlier is just like, look, the white fox again. And she's like, did you see that? She's like, yeah, sure. It's like, wait, how can you just sit there? And she's like, look, I did 2 years deep undercover. I saw everything.
Looks like a scout of some kind. Filthy looking creature.
And so they keep hunting the back of that car, and the car ends up getting blown up
Yikes.
by Hob and Herman.
Oh, good old Hob and Herman.
Yep. They break Hunt out, and Hob has a plan. So he deploys some smokes to get them out of there. Gets Hunt in the car.
A powerful magical artifact.
I saw it, Professor. Your theory.
And so they don't really talk about what they're gonna do with Hun, but they say, hey, yeah, we're gonna get you for something.
Marshal Traherne. Look there.
And then so Kitsune talks with Shredder about how he's letting Baxter Stockman do the work for him. And so Kitsune talks a little about, hey, Karai needs to isn't Karai upset about this? And Shredder's like, whatever.
By all six gods. What was
I don't care.
That roar and that.
Yeah, I don't care plus ratio.
And Zaitan must see what it sees.
and they're still attacking. So also, for some reason, Baxter can see what the flies are seeing. I think.
So it's
weird.
Like a true neural link, more or less.
Donnie shows up. They all start getting into the waters, and Donnie makes himself a boat for Splinter. And the robots found them.
That's a lot of robots.
Yep. They all start fighting in the water. Mikey gets carried away. He gets dropped down. Leo saves him. Oh, no, wait.
There are more of those things.
Oh, no, that's Raph. Yeah, Raph was getting drowned. Leo goes to save him. Mikey lands back down. They land on the shore. And then Splinter and Donnie are up on top of the bridge. And they have to, and they think they're about to fight alone. Turns out Angel and Al show up just in the nick of time for the third time this night.
Just in time.
Just keep doing that. And so they all end up showing up and getting ready on the bridge. And I love this shot of them Avengers circling.
Mm-hmm. That's a good triple panel right there.
Yep, real good. I love Mikey's line. Donnie, you think there's more robots like you laying around? We could probably use them. And they get ready.
Ready to fight an entire army.
All right, that's 2 issues. The last one I think is like 48 pages, so
Holy shit, okay.
yeah, it's a long one because it's issue 50 and it's important.
Oh, it's... yeah.
The pale tree guides you.
Anyway, all the other mutants are just kind of chilling out while Baxter Stockman is still doing all the work. But then he says, "Oh, hey, you can send your lackeys away now." And so Shredder's like, "Wait, I didn't order anybody to." Turns out, Karai brought out some foot, and they're beating up the robots.
Hmm.
And so it turns out,
Alright.
so Karai is going to help them out for a second, at least for a sec.
Yeah, some kind of help. At least.
So they talk. Karai reveals that she's upset with the dishonor that her grandfather was going. Oh gosh, that was a voice crack.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's a redo on that one. Here we go. I'm gonna take a sip of water after that. Holy crap.
Edit out the voice crack.
Yeah,
Rebecca, if that voice crack is in the video, I'm not gonna be very happy.
Rebecca, I'll give you $5 PayPal to keep it in the video.
Honestly, it's pretty funny. Rebecca, I'll give you $5 PayPal to not keep it in the video. Whose money do you value more? The Texan or the Georgian?
2 awful choices.
Hey, we both have a Bucky's though, so Bucky's supremacy.
You know what? This is true. But do you have Whataburger?
Yes, there are some Whataburgers in Georgia. There's one Whataburger in Georgia, and we're about to get another one.
You know what? All right, Georgia, not half bad.
Yeah, come visit sometime.
I probably won't.
Well, we have the Georgia Aquarium. It's the big aquarium.
If anything, I'm going to Atlanta to go take a tour of the CDC facility, and that's about it.
Well, if you're gonna go to Atlanta, you need to do the City Pass because City Pass is like you get to do like 5 things for $100.
Oh yeah, Chicago has that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for Atlanta, you get to go to the aquarium, and you get to stay for as long as you want in these places. You just have to use your coupons within 3 days of each other. So you go to Georgia Aquarium, World of Coke,
World of Coke.
tour to CNN Center.
CNN Center.
You get to go into the giant globe behind Carla Zeus on CNN 10.
Oh boy, oh boy! I've always wanted to do that.
See,
If you know who Carla Zeus was, Carla Zeus is actually like the only sane person at CNN.
I don't know, man. CNN.
No, because
CNN.
he does the student news, and he's just like he it's literally non-political. Like it's just he reports the news.
He does his job.
Yeah, I mean he does. At the end of the show, he picks something and then he does like a little rhyme or rap about it, and it's kind of cringy, but it's also endearing.
I mean,
My sister tweeted it. My sister tweeted him when we were there because she wanted to meet him, and he said, "Oh, I'm out of the offices this week."
damn.
But he ended up tweeting her back. I don't know if I don't know if it was anything else, but like he tweeted her back, and then she took a picture with a cardboard cutout, and he's like, "It's not a substitute for the real thing, but it's a nice one." Anyway,
That's a
so
wholesome dude. I like that.
okay, now I finally get to retry the line. If I voice crack again, that would be hilarious. Anyway, so Karai's upset with the dishonor that Shredder's bringing upon the clan right now. So she's ready for him to, or she's ready for an honorable way for this to end.
Yes.
And then they're getting ready to attach Donnie's new shell to him. They made him a new metal shell.
Hell yeah.
The only way they can do that is by taking some of the ooze, and that would probably kill some of the Utroms.
Oh no.
Yep.
Not.
And then someone comes to them with some more ooze.
I see very very scaly looking appearance there.
Yep.
Very
He says that he'll help them if you help me. So Baxter throws away all his stuff. He starts to get ready to attack again. Karai stops him. So Kitsune tells him to listen to what Karai has to say. And then Karai explains, yeah, you've been kind of a bad person. So there's a better way to do this. And then so the turtles and everybody show up. And he challenges him. Or wait, well, hold on. And so he starts to challenge them. Oh yeah, he does. He challenges him to the gauntlet.
I was gonna say Mortal Kombat.
I mean, Shredder kind of looks like Shao Kahn.
He does.
And then so Kitsune starts to talk to Shredder. She whispers some stuff into his ear to make him accept the challenge. And Baxter Stockman just says, "You know what? I'm just gonna leave, idiots."
Dummy. I'm out of here. You thought I was fighting?
And then so let me explain how the gauntlet works real quick. It starts off in a round of a 4v4. Four people handpicked by the master. It's not the master himself.
Okay.
Anybody who is knocked out cannot be used in the final fight. So, or well, anybody left standing can be used in the final fight. So, like, once all of the other opponents are either down or killed, whoever you have left can join you in the 1v1. So it's not a 1v1. And so that means that obviously Splinter ended up picking the turtles.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. And so, and then Shredder ended up picking Bebop, Rocksteady, Koya, and Legend.
Also solid choices.
Your attention,
Yep.
please.
That was a good shot.
It is a good shot.
Yep. And then Splinter explains that the only people that have to die are either him or Rokusaki. Mikey's still not on board with it, even though, like, back in issue 14, Splinter talked about how he was going to end this with either him dead or with Shredder dead.
Okay.
And so they get ready for the fight. The gauntlet starts. They all charge at each other.
Nice plan, buddy.
And, you know, everybody's just kind of getting in their opening blows and everything.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Keep it down, you louds. Keep your interlegion bickering to
That's a funny joke. Too bad that nobody editing this would be able to hear it.
Jealous snarl. That's what
Anyway, like, they can give advice and stuff, but Splinter just decided that he's going to meditate to try to see if he can find a way to defeat Shredder.
Okay.
And now the turtles are starting to lose some ground.
Getting some solid blows. on
So
their
they're all
faces.
down, but not out for the count. Angel wants to help them, but she gets stopped by the guards. Alapex realizes, you know, like, we can't do anything. This is literally, it's a sacred right.
Yeah.
And while that's happening, Kitsune starts to mess with Alapex's mind again.
Good old brain trickery.
Yep. Issue 50. This is the big one.
Rat
Yep.
versus man.
Anyway, so Metal Donnie starts to fight back. He does a good job because, like, look at that flamethrower. That's just great coverage.
Yeah. Good old laser
Yep.
eyes too.
They all get up. Splinter tells them to all start focusing. Everybody presses the attack again. Let's see. And they start to split up and just take on some different opponents and stuff.
Okay.
Mayhem in a mountain of corpses. That's how we do it.
And so Splinter goes back into the astral realm. He remembers the day that him and his sons died, and he realizes this is an important part of my life, but it's not going to help me defeat Shredder.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
They start. I like this one where Mikey and Raph turn their attention to Bebop and Rocksteady. So Raph just throws a bunch of kunai at Rocksteady, which makes him drop his sledgehammer directly onto Bebop's foot. And then Mikey suggests, hey, why don't we just let them beat each other up?
Oh, good. I love this part. Stealth is fun, but stealth kills.
And then, so back on Burnau Island, they end up putting in the ooze that this mysterious benefactor has provided them.
Awfully reptilian benefactor.
And so he starts to activate that. So then Splinter goes back to another conversation he had with Saki. And it's just this. I believe this was whenever he was. Yep, this would be whenever he is Jonin? Yeah, Jonin of the Foot Clan. I couldn't remember the right word for a second. He's still meditating. Mikey and Raph literally do that thing that you can do in the boss fight where you just let Bebop and Rocksteady charge into each other.
Solid strat. I like it.
Yep. And then Leo ends up sneaking around Koya and ends up chopping her wings.
Jesus.
Then Donnie starts fighting with Bludgeon, lasers him in the nose, and then shines a bright light in his eyes, and now he's blind.
God.
Like, not temporarily blinded. I'm just gonna spoil that right now. Not temporarily blinded. Bludgeon cannot see anything.
Fucking took away his nose and then actually just turned his eyes off. Motherfucker, dude. God.
Bebop and Rocksteady keep fighting them. Bebop and Rocksteady start fighting each other. They decide, hey, why don't we get the turtles? And then charge into a wall. And then back to, hey, remember Kitsune was being controlled by Alapex? Or, I mean, other way around. Let me redo that one.
I was gonna say other way around.
Yeah. So, remember Alapex was being controlled by Kitsune again. And she's just, implanting little words saying, hey, remember, after all this is over, we're still going to be the ones that are here, no matter what happens. And so Al comes back to it after Angel says her names a few times. She's like, oh yeah, I spaced out, don't worry about it. Like, hey, are they winning? It's like, well, they're not losing. That's good.
Are you winning, son?
Are you winning, Raph? Gosh, I would. Oh my gosh, can we make? I'm gonna make that a meme. We're gonna make that a meme with the version where the guy's lying on the floor getting attacked by and make that Raph getting attacked by Rocksteady or something.
Are you winning, Raph?
I'm gonna make that. And then so Leo's just basically gotten rid of, like, he didn't cut off her arms, but like her wings are gone now.
He clipped her wings. That's essentially turning off a bird.
And Bludgeon's blind, so they take themselves out of the fight. And Bebop and Rocksteady are still fighting each other. Oh, I love the quotes also. They're talking about, hey, what happened to the bird in what happened to the bird and the fish? And Leo says, grounded. And Donnie says, seeing things in a new light. And so they're still fighting each other, but they're getting ready. Donnie gets a call from someone, and he's planning something. Donnie gets ready, walks right up to Bebop and Rocksteady, and says, fellas, it's been a blast, and blows himself up.
Jesus Christ.
Better than this. Hector was a pill, but she was our pill.
And everybody's upset about this, but then, look who's back, Donnie.
I am waiting below.
It's real Donnie.
If you dare.
The real Donnie, he's back. And I guess this technically counts as him still being in? Sure, okay.
Yep. I mean, he's not.
And they're all happy to see him. They're all getting ready.
I sustain Zaitan, and Zaitan makes me
But then, and then Shredder's like, oh, okay, you beat all of my guys.
for my master.
So now we're gonna go to where I want to fight. And since you're so busy on focusing on the cosmos, why don't we go someplace where they can witness your doom?
Huh.
Come then, know you're better.
That
And they start
is a
fighting with
very
Shredder.
Good line. I like
Yep.
that.
And they start fighting with Shredder. And they're doing really good. Leo and Raph get some good blows, but then everybody gets one good blow on him, and then Shredder starts to take it seriously.
That's what she said.
And so they're still fighting Shredder. I don't know how to narrate this part really well because it's just a lot of fighting.
The fight continues. Shredder presses the attack.
Yep. He is power.
Shredder
He is
equals
Back
power.
in another Splinter flashback. You tell Hamato Yoshi loses his balance, and then Oroku Saki takes him out while he's defenseless. But like they both end up falling. They're being watched by their master. And he's saying that they both still have a lot to learn. Raph ends up fighting with Splinter. Splinter catches the Sai, throws it back, and stabs Raph in the leg with it.
Jesus.
So I think Leo and Raph are both out of the fight.
I mean,
Mikey goes in for an attack. And then
boss sucks.
What a day. I've always
Splinter gets one last memory where he sees them all fighting,
Yeah.
or where he sees Saki fighting a guy, and he says that, hey, he's down, you need to stop fighting him. Why would you attack him? And then Saki's basically just like, this guy said that he was the toughest, that he's the strongest, so I'm gonna beat him up. So Yoshi's just like, that's stupid.
That's dumb.
So he's like, you might be the strongest and the toughest, but you don't scare me. And so now that all of Hamato Yoshi students are down, it's time for Splinter to fight. And he remembers all of those memories, and he finds the true strength. He picks up Donatello's bow staff, gets a few good blows in. Picks up Mikey's nunchucks, keeps getting some blows, and is talking about how he's going to protect his family. Finds a Sai,
Return the favor.
and then Shredder gets a really good blow on Splinter's chest.
Sooner. By the time I set the charges, it'll be too
And
late.
then I'm just gonna quote this one word for word. So he talks about how all that awaits. So Shredder says that you choose pain, suffering, and death, and then he goes, "Death awaits us all, in that we have no choice. And yet you speak of it as a fate belonging solely to others. It is true you are very powerful, Saki, but I understand now it is a power that chose you and not you it. A power that deludes you into believing you cannot be defeated, cannot be destroyed. but you are wrong. Yes, death can be escaped. We both know this, but only for a time. You chide me for my mindless pursuit of knowledge in the astral plane, never realizing it has in fact made me very mindful of death's dominion over all things. Unlike you, death is a thing I have come to respect, and I am unashamed to admit, for the safety of my children, to fear. But in your blind confidence, you have forgotten, Oroku Saki. I have never feared you. And with a single strike, it's a great blow on Shredder. And so Splinter gives him a choice. He says, it is time for you to accept death and that you can get the honor back that you had. Do you remember? And he says, do you remember the dream that we shared?
Are you well?
And he says that he does. He gets ready. And so he chooses the honor. And before he goes, Shredder says some lines to Karai. And he says that even though he was harsh to her, that she ended up becoming strong. And then in Japanese, he talks to Kitsune. And she says that no matter what happens, he will find a way to come back to her.
Sweet, sweet.
And Shredder says that he will see Splinter back in the forest. And with that, he stabs himself in the chest. And Splinter cuts his head off.
Oh,
Traditional Japanese.
Seppuku.
Yep.
You roach.
Ew, kill it.
Anyway. And Mikey is, Mikey's scared of that. He's like, his dad just killed someone.
Mm-hmm.
And Raph gets carried over by Al. He's doing okay, but obviously he needs some support.
Yeah.
Karai comes over to speak to Splinter, and Karai gives him the choice. She says, hey, you fought honorably, and so, you know what that means? I'm going to go back to Japan. Somebody needs to lead the Foot Clan, and I want that someone to be you. So, Splinter accepts. So now Splinter is the leader of the Foot Clan. And he gets her sword. Mikey he does not want this to happen at all. Mikey ends up just jumping from the roof and just leaving. And so Karai gets to leave with a couple of people and go to Japan to train.
Yeah.
Tsune is going to stay here under Splinter's eye. And then Leo asks, what do we do next? So Splinter looks at the Shredder's helmet and remembers one last time back to the dream, the forest that they were in, and when they were kids, and how they were going to become great warriors with each other. But now, they have to embrace their new destiny. And an epilogue. I forgot about this, actually. And then so he ends up, and so turns out, hey, Krang ended up taking the DNA of the feudal Japanese versions of Hamato Yoshi and his sons to use against Shredder later. So Krang is responsible for the turtles.
Oh.
Yep. And this is where Casey and April will start, but let's just end it here. This is a great spot to end it.
Yeah. That's a good. That was good. That was fucking cool.
Yep. All right, I'm stopping the recording now because that is an hour and 50.
wow.
Yeah.
File,
Yeah.
save project, as
A lot of editing.
Yeah.
talk 3 egg save and export as MP3. gonna take a little bit of time. So yeah, I'm done recording. You're done recording?
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot happened.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
So, and it just is gonna keep on getting. There's still more twists and turns to happen. I mean, Splinter in charge of the Foot Clan.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think that would happen?
Legitimately? Not at all. No, that actually came as a pretty good shock.
Like you were kind of expecting Shredder to die, right?
Yes.
You just didn't know when it was gonna happen.
I was fully expecting Shredder to die. I didn't think he would die there.
And you didn't think he would die honorably like that?
Yeah. I honestly thought that somebody would have lost their shit and just fucking massacred the man.
Well, here's the funny thing, right?
Mhm.
So, the original 84 Turtles comic, right?
Eternal
Yeah.
vigilance.
Shredder dies in the first issue of that.
Okay.
Weak.
And Leonardo offers him the same like honorable death thing.
Mm-hmm.
Shredder blows himself up with a grenade instead.
He takes the coward's way out.
Yep. Let's see. Let's see. And then so now I'm trying to focus on everybody on the rooftop and seeing where their journeys take them now. So let's talk. Okay, I'm gonna go from right to left because I want to end on someone certain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Angel. I mean, it's interesting talking about her journey through all this because she started off as like a purple dragon, and then the purple dragons ended up being not great people.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, that's the thing. Angel is so I actually found this out from watching 2003 TMNT.
Mm-hmm.
There is a character called Angel in that too, but she's a lot younger, and she is also wanting to join up with the Purple Dragons, but Casey won't let her because like Casey made a promise to her grandma or something.
Yeah.
That Angel it's fine. It's just a cautionary tale kind of story. But this Angel, I really like this. I really like Angel a lot. Like I think that they implement her well, and then with the Nobody suit, because also apparently Nobody's just an ongoing moniker thing. Like there have been other people in the comics and shows that have used Nobody as a name.
So it's kind of like the mantle of Robin or Red Hood.
Yeah, kind of like that. Except this is definitely the most high tech version.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alapex, you know how I feel about Alapex.
Furry.
Shut up. Anyway, no, but like, I definitely enjoy a good villain turned hero.
Yeah.
I think Al
everybody
works.
does.
I think Al works as that. It is funny though because remember we are now on like, I think next week, Armageddon game starts, and then 2 weeks after that, I think they release issue 133. So when you think about it, Alapex was only a villain. She first got introduced after issue 5, and then I think it was straight up like issue 20. I gotta think. Issue maybe 28 that she turns on Shredder. So she was only bad for like 23 issues. And then for the rest of it, she's just like a hero character. So
She had a good little villain run, I will say.
yeah, I definitely. I mean, I don't know if she would have. That's the thing, though. I don't know if she would have worked if she had stayed as a villain, though. Like, I don't know if I'd have liked her as much.
I think she definitely benefits a lot better from being the villain turned hero sort of deal.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's good because, like, I don't see how you can make Alapex start off as a good character, like as a good guy.
Yeah.
Work kind of, but I think it helps her having the bad guy background for the ninja training.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I think I might have talked about this with Horse. I was like, when I'm at work, I brainstorm ideas for how I would make my own TMNT universe. and it's hard to. And I want to work Al in there, but it's hard to work her in there because like I don't want to make like I want to make her a good guy, but I don't want to make her a bad guy and just retread all of her same story beats.
Yeah.
I have to figure out another way of doing that. Which I mean, I have a kind of way of doing that, but like I don't have the full story yet, so I just gotta work with it. But I think Al and Raph is a great dynamic. I think they're both, and it gets better throughout the whole story. They're just like good characters for each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing romantic yet, so don't worry about that.
Yet, you say. Keyword.
They're just
yet.
good. They're just friends.
They're just buddies.
Yeah, you know, like Angel would say, they're friends.
Yeah, they're friends.
And then Raph, I gotta say, I think Raph might be my favorite turtle in this continuity.
Raph is a good character, but I have to say I do like Donnie a bit more.
Donnie's pretty good. Donnie's usually my favorite, but I just really like Raph and IDW a lot more.
That's fair.
I think that he goes on a better journey. I think that he has more relatable issues. Good. Splinter's always going to be a good character. I don't think there's ever been an incarnation where Splinter's like been like mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can fall into cliches and stuff, but like I feel like this version's also really interesting because of how much he's just willing to take. Like he was willing to kill to protect his family. Like that's something you don't see too often.
I don't think that's something.
And then Leo is I don't know about I never know about Leo because I feel like Leo is kind of the lame one to like.
He is. He's a necessary.
Is Leo the tech one?
No, Leo is the leader.
Yeah.
Oh, the blue one.
Yeah, like it's lame to like Leo because sometimes he just doesn't get a personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say it, IDW sometimes feels like that. Like Leo is just there to be the glue of his family. Not all the time. I definitely think that Northampton helps out his character a good bit. Like him having to deal with being brainwashed and what he was going to do to his family helps him realize that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like for the rest of the story, he's literally like even after Northampton, he's just kind of there to like tell people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then Donnie, oh my gosh, Donnie in this.
Donnie gets.
Like I get what you're saying. Donnie is great in this. Because
like it.
He has a great supporting cast because basically Harold's his supporting cast, Fugitoid, Angel to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
He's a likable character because like he was like during the whole Technodrome thing, he's still trying to help. Like he's trying to help out in his own way, even when everybody else doesn't agree with him.
Yeah. Trying to be devil's advocate with everybody.
And then the heroic sacrifice in these issues where he just almost dies.
Yeah.
Like that just builds so much respect for Donnie.
His little arc as fucking Metalhead.
Yeah. And Metalhead got blown up.
Yeah.
But it's weird.
Build new
And it's also kind of cool because remember Donnie was the most skeptical about all the mysticism stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Honeycutt talks to him about when they're doing the Krang War arc over in Dimension X. He talks to Donnie about teleportation, and he's like, when we teleport something, it's gone. Like, the original version doesn't exist. We created a new version in a different place. But there's one thing that science can never account for, and that's how the soul ends up winding up in this new body.
Yeah.
How Donnie was the one who was most skeptical about that, and then he has to, like, be the ultimate show of that by putting his soul in another body while his body is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say what Casey and April is, the important part of that story. It just introduces a new Pantheon member.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, Rat King shows up, and he's like, hey, here's one of my sisters. Her name is Akka. She looks like an angel. And Akka's like, I'm a good guy. She actually is. She's basically just a benevolent member of the Pantheon. Which, like, compared to the other three we've had, which was, Rat King, Kitsune, and Chiyu,
It's a
We needed a good god.
it's a good change of pace, that's for sure.
Yeah. It wouldn't be as interesting if I think all of them were evil.
It would not be at all.
We're gonna meet the other Pantheon members. I'm not gonna say how many there are or any of that, but like, um, I mean they're all pretty interesting. I gotta say that the Pantheon is made up of members that aren't entirely all new. I think. I'm trying to think. Rat King is definitely an old villain. And then I think Kitsune and Shiyu and Akka are all new, but then some of the other members of the Pantheon are like older villains, maybe. I know a few of them are at least. But yeah, like, hold on, I'm just gonna go through some of the Casey April stuff real quick. I also really don't care for the art style in this.
It's not bad, but I can see what you mean.
It's no. Here's the thing. I think April looks great in this art style.
She does.
Like, what? Like, this is the first time the short haircut has looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Casey, I don't know what it is about him.
Doesn't look Casey.
Yeah, it doesn't look Casey.
The face looks weird.
We're just gonna go through this real quick off camera. Casey finds this rock that looks like a heart. They end up going to feet. I'm glad Soup's not here now.
No. Shut up. No. No feet.
Let's see. I like this shot of Casey though. It's the first time that he saw a star. He was saying I was like 12 maybe. I was hiding out on the roof and to get away from the old man, and one night I looked up and I saw, stars, but they were moving. Turns out they were planes. It's kind of sad though, because that is like the reality for like big city people. They never really get to see that.
Oh, because all that light pollution.
Do you live in a place with light pollution?
Moderate, but I have a night sky.
I am a rural boy, so I get to see the beauty of all of that.
If I go out about 30 miles north, then I get an amazing night sky.
I was about to say I could look out my window right now and see it, and then I opened my blinds and saw a reflection of myself because of the lights in my room.
Man, I love those. I love that star. That's myself.
That's a pretty good one.
I can see usually Orion's belt pretty consistently outside my window.
I guess. Oh wait, so something I guess, to think about is that they don't really know the outcome of the fight yet. Because remember, they left. They left while the Flyborgs were about to attack the church.
Yeah.
Still, the fight was going on. And then Casey gets into a fight with a couple of bar guys. They get thrown out of the bar. And April's upset at him. I don't know. And this whole thing is also just kind of showing that Casey and April don't really work great as a couple.
Yeah. I see the
Thing that kind of sucks. But this is a spoiler, but like you could already see it coming. Yeah, Casey and April are gonna break up.
Mm-hmm.
Not in this, but like when we get to later issues, they will break up. And like it's not that far away. And honestly, I kind of agree with it. Like Casey and April really rarely work together as a romantic couple just because of how. And it's weird because opposites attract is a good thing most of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
For them, it's just kind of weird. Because I think they play too much into it.
Yeah. Casey's too stubborn. April's too. I don't know. Insistent, I think would be a good word.
Yeah. Oh, also this farmer guy talks to them.
I'm Farmer Billy Bob Jones, man.
Yeah, he's just I'm an man. I just wanna can you go talk to my sister for me?
I ride a motorcycle. You want to see my motorcycle?
Yep. Hey, look who that farmer ended up being.
Wow, he likes a lot of rats.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Casey and April get separated. I like his little cowboy hat.
Mm-hmm. A riot king.
Let's see.
I
I don't
fucking
know. Why did he show
I had a funny ragdoll for TF2.
funny ragdoll?
My
Those are always
heavy
the best.
my heavy like he died, and he sat down on a ledge.
Just
Dang.
contemplating, thinking.
Well, no, he's got like both hands on the ledge. He's just sitting down.
Yeah, he's thinking.
I got a screenshot, thankfully.
Oh, good.
Also, I'm down to 4 heavy achievements left.
God damn, dude.
Yeah. Class struggle, collectivization, party loyalty, and Soviet bloc. And I'm
Soviet
on
block,
pay.
that's what, take X amount of damage in 1 life or something?
While invulnerable on defense, block an invulnerable heavy or enemy heavy's movement.
Oh, that's easy.
Party loyalty. I haven't gotten it yet because I haven't had a fucking
Wait, I need to see
medic
if I
to
have
help
these
me.
achievements.
Party loyalty. I need 3 more. Like revenge with medic.
Hmm.
Let me see where are my achievements at. Here we go. Oh wait, I have party loyalty.
Damn
I
it.
literally just got it on 9/11.
Oh,
Yo, sick.
I mean, hey, if you want help with my achievements, I got room on my.
Oh, I also have a year to remember on Scout. That's like get 2004 lifetime kills.
Thank God, dude.
Oh, get a kill on well before the round starts.
How do you?
There's a.
What?
You do the fucking. You jump over the fucking trains and you murder somebody.
Yeah, I did that as Scout. If you use the winger, it's really easy.
Hmm.
I think I did that in like a custom game with somebody. I don't know.
Winger enforcing
What are the
nature.
other heavy achievements you need to get?
Class struggle, collectivization.
Oh, I'm missing 12 heavy achievements. Let's see. I have the 3 heavy milestones. I have Iron Curtain, Party Loyalty. Which ones are you missing?
I'm missing work struggle, collectivization, party loyalty, and Soviet bloc.
Let's see.
I
I
can't do
don't have.
Soviet bloc because my medic is using the quick fix or
Yeah.
something like that. So I don't
So
get
it's not gonna
actual.
invulnerability.
No, I get crits, not invulnerability.
Okay. Um. Wait. So you said you don't have class struggle?
No.
I don't have that one. I don't have Soviet bloc. I do have. I do have party loyalty. But then what was the other one?
Uh, collectivization, which is the 1,000 assists.
I have 616 right now.
I have 669.
Nice. Let's see what else I have to get. I have to get crime and punishment. I've only killed 2 people as heavy while people were carrying my intelligence.
I did that earlier. It was annoying because I had to waste half my time in a game just on the fucking intel.
Oh, I should be able to get Stalin the cart pretty easily. That's like 7 more times on that.
Well, I'm doing payload.
Crazy Ivan is an interesting one.
Oh yeah, I did that. I was on a friendly 2-fort server.
Redistribution of health is interesting.
Is that the medkit one only?
Yeah, you have to. Oh, you can. No, it doesn't have to be only. But like you have to heal 1,000 damage with medkits.
Yeah, so what I did was I went onto high tower and just jumped.
Oh yeah, that's smart. I swear,
Everyone kept
rationing
killing
seems
me, but I'm
really
like, hey,
easy.
leave me alone. I'm trying to do an achievement here.
Photostroke is a good one.
Oh yeah, I got that one too.
That's funny. Do you know what that one is, Circuit?
Huh?
Photostrokia is you do a taunt while you're invulnerable
Yeah, I have that one.
for an enemy kill cam.
I had that
P2 P Tuesday. What the heck?
P Tuesday.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I want to get
Casey
all the
runs
heavy
into a
ones done.
Casey runs into a hippie combine that was kind of weird. I forgot. I don't know what's going on in Casey in April.
It's weird romance shit that nobody really cares about. Use my taken dinosaur. Bastards.
This is a cool shot though. I like this cover.
Wish you were here.
Rats, rats. We are the rats.
Rats.
I'm the giant rat who makes all the rules.
Also, I love fucking TF2 names.
Team names are an interesting sort. And
Right.
they were a mistake
Wait,
whenever.
he said. Wait, Casey said the Dante line. Bottom left corner.
What the hell is this?
What the hell is this? Oh, did you hear about that about Ruben Langdon?
Who?
The voice actor for Dante.
No,
He's also the voice actor
seen-
for Ken. He is not voicing Ken in Street Fighter 6.
Interesting.
Because it's apparently because he spoke out against vaccine mandates.
Oh, so they just
They
ideologically
replaced him with a
disagree.
guy, and I looked on his Twitter, and that guy in the past week had made 5 tweets about masks and about how important they are.
In the past week?
In the past week.
Bro, it's almost 2023. Fucking god.
Yep. You know what this comic reminds me of now? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's straight up a webtoons comic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the art style of webtoons.
Yep.
I want to get through a little bit more of this so I can
What the fuck do I get up here?
see. Like he's the giant rat that makes all the rules. That one's pretty good. Looks like an actual picture though, kind of, that someone would take
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
with a filter.
Yeah.
There we go. Also, this is like the only time we've seen the turtles in this art style too. They look okay.
Not too bad. The close-up of Leo is a bit weird on the bottom, but
Yeah, I think it's just the way his head is shaped.
it is.
Yep. I am the Rat King.
I'm the Rat King.
Look at who he made a king. It's Richard M. Nixon.
Oh god.
I think that's Nixon.
President Rat.
You know who he looks like in the bottom left or in that panel because of like the way that they're colored? You ever watched Invincible?
Yeah. Oh, the
It looks
fucking
like Cecil. It looks like Cecil.
yeah.
There we go. There's Akka. I love the way Akka looks.
Akka.
AKA.
Hey, Aka. Scale this tower.
It's a Joshua Tree pizza pie.
Oh, what?
Joshua Tree pizza pie.
So Akka explains that yeah, they are immortals. And it's weird because Rat King's honestly being kind of chill right now.
Yeah, I've noticed he's not like being a fucking maniac. He's just vibing. He's being a rat.
See. There he goes, being mean again. He says, "Oh, one of them is a shell of his former self."
Good old bad jokes. Gotta love them.
Yep. Let's see. But like Akka's pretty good. And then, so AC and April weren't in the same place while that was happening, by the way, but they both remember all the experiences, so. And it's kind of weird because remember Rat King's whole kind of thing, like all the gods are kind of like, hey, you're going to forget everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Akka didn't want them to forget.
Maybe. This is not the correct way.
It's funny. In TF2 now, I'm dominating summoning bubbles.
Bubble.
Bubbles. And they have a Doom guy icon.
Bubbles.
Yep. That's a good cover.
That is a good cover. I like that.
I don't know about this one.
That's...
And yeah. So we'll get back to collection 7. I want to see what issues are in this one. Okay. So that's neat. So next time it's actually interesting because if we just do this collection by itself, it is all main issues for once.
No side stories or anything?
3% sugar?
Nope, it's just issue 51 through 64. Which I think that means that next time, I know for a fact that, oh, I know what's going to happen. So in the next collection, there's a 5-part miniseries. I'm not going to say what the name of it is because I don't want to spoil it. But then they also start doing the TMNT universe issues, which are, oh boy, they're not bad at all. I'm trying to think I'm trying to think the right word to use for them. There's a reason they're side issues, if that makes sense.
They're interesting.
Well, they're not super important to the main plot. Like they basically can cover them in like one sentence in another issue. Like, and sometimes there's good stuff. Like there's I think the first 4 that they do are really good. And then there's one with I'm not gonna spoil who it is. There's one with a character and they get like a 4-part universe series and it's really good. But then here's the other thing. Every single universe issue comes with its own little mini baby series. Like I'm talking about 4 pages. And thankfully in this and like in the IDW collections, they make those make sense. Because like they like for that one really good micro series that I talked about,
yeah,
they do a side issue along with it, and if you're reading it in order by like reading them like as the actual issues and then reading the micro right after it,
yeah,
it spoils stuff. It's just weird. I love the covers for the IDW collections, by the way. Don't look them up. Don't look them up because there's, for some reason, they decided to put spoilers on the very last one. Like you can, like, well, it's weird. Okay, so, collections 1 through 12 have characters that you already know. I'm gonna look at. Don't look at. I don't have my screen shared right now, so I'm gonna look and see if I can find who's on what covers. So Raphael is on collection 1. Splinter's on collection 2. Leo's on 3. Donnie's on 4. I guess, do I just go to IDW's website? Maybe? Let's go to all. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. This should be able to show it. Let's see. So, yeah, those 5 is April, 6 is Shredder, 7 is Mikey, 8's Bebop and Rocksteady, 9 is Slash, 10 is Krang, 11 is Casey, 12 is Hob, and then 13's a spoiler character. Like, they don't get revealed until inside of that issue. And then issue 14 is Alapex. So, like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. All right. Are you tired?
I'm very tired.
You ready to stop this?
I am.
All right, I'm going to
s-
sleep now. Circuit, that was fun, but like, oh gosh, this is so much better with other people.
Yeah, I agree entirely. I'm, I'm not the most energetic person.
Not entirely, but like were you were still streaming. You were still playing Guild Wars, aren't you?
I'm still alive.
Well,
Oh,
go on
huh.
alive.
I'm not playing anything though.
You were just chilling.
Just chatting.
I am currently slumped down in my chair.
Urtim,
Mhm.
you were cool for chilling out. Awesome. You're great, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah. If you wanna set up some audio stuff for next time, you are welcome to join
I
in.
don't have anything for that.
Well, you can download Audacity for free. That's what we use.
Eh.
It's small and it doesn't take up much space. Let's see if is this the MP3? Copy and then paste. Nope, it's still not ready yet. Alright, I'll have to wait till the morning for this one. Yeah. Alright, well. 35 gigabytes? How do I keep getting more space? This is weird.
Go on the stream. Have a good night, anybody who came out. Goodbye.
Yeah. Tiv,